10 a.m. because she works what they do at outsource is it's a customer service outfit. So they actually pick calls for international organizations. So she goes to work at 1 p.m. and closes at 11 American time. So she sent me a message at 10 to say she's almost done from work, but she was going to go out from work to go and have drinks with her friends and colleagues to celebrate her passing out. I was already in bed, so I replied, I'm like, who? She told me Mr. Toby and Arafat. I know Toby, but I don't know Arafat very well. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. No wahala. She has her own key. She lets herself in, so I slept up. At about 2 a.m., I woke up to pee, and she wasn't beside me. Usually when I wake up, I see her beside me. Like, as I've been for the past 1 year. So she wasn't beside me. I was like, is it that, why is she not home yet? I tried to reach her, she wasn't picking her calls. I don't have Toby's number, so I was worried, and then I laid down, I slept off with my phone in my hand. At about 4:30, I got a call. Immediately I woke up, I just knew something was wrong when I still didn't see her. It was an unknown number, so I picked up, it was Mr. Toby, and he was like, please, can you come to Gariki Hospital right now? Something happened. So I panicked, and then my neighbor, Miss Maureen, at the time, she's mobile, so immediately I screamed. So she stood up immediately too and said she couldn't sleep. She was just worried too, all through the night. So we drove to Gariki Hospital, and immediately I got there, a lot of policemen were outside. I was like, what happened? I saw there was a pool of blood everywhere on the floor at the entrance of Gariki Hospital. I saw Toby drenched in blood. So I was like, what's going on? What happened? He was in handcuffs. So I was asking him, what happened? What's going on here? So he said he couldn't answer because of course he was in shock. So one police woman there, I think she was the DPO at that FCT command, she took me aside and was like, am I the sister too? I was like, yes. She was like, something happened, I have to be strong. I'm like, what happened? So she narrated the experience that they had to trail these guys here. That's my sister and her colleagues here because they saw them driving like with speed and all that, so they trailed them here. So the story now is, Toby said on their way from Sedi Plaza, they passed that, there's a bridge after Sedi Plaza. Immediately they had a loud sound, so he thought it was his tires, and then he looked at his mirrors and the tire was okay. So immediately my sister was at the back and Arafat is in front. So he said my sister tapped in slowly and was making, like, doing like this, like she was gasping for air. So he was like, what's wrong with you, and then she was like, she doesn't like, so he turned and then saw her holding, because she was shot under her breast. So he saw her, holding her, and then he saw, like, the car, so he had on the light in the car, and then he saw blood all over her clothes. So that's how he knew that it was a gunshot. So he asked Arafat immediately, where's the nearest husband? They said it was Gariki. So on their way there, another, there's always a police checkpoint. So the ones I saw at the hospital, they were the ones that accosted them on their way and stopping them, and they didn't want to stop, of course, because it was an emergency. So they drove, and those ones trailed them. So when they got there and saw that it was a gunshot, it was that woman, God bless her, that actually identified the person that shot my sister, because she was like, if it's immediately after Sedi Plaza, it has to be Inspector Benjamin Peters. So just to cut this long story short, Gariki Hospital, I said go get blood. She has lost a lot of blood. I'm like, okay, can you take my blood? We're same blood group. Like, we don't take blood from women. That's what they told me and Maureen, my neighbor, that night. I can never forget. I'm like, why don't you take blood from women? Can I even at least see my sister? They said she was at the emergency room. So
sit down, please. Sit down.
Jesus. Center at Zone 4. I'm getting them. They said I should get either I buy blood, I should get male to donate blood. I'm like, why? So I didn't even want to ask for that. So I and Maureen drove out. They started calling me again to come back. Because on my way there, I started calling my male friends, please go to Gariki Hospital to see what happened. So they're like, come back, some of your friends are already here, we've taken blood from them, we are giving her blood. I'm like, let me just buy, it's never too much, just in case you guys say there's no more blood. So they were like, just come. So I knew something was wrong. So I come back to the hospital, and when I got there, I saw some of my male friends, they actually took blood. So it wasn't even up to 5 minutes. My friend is here, and she was with me at the hospital that day, she's a witness. It wasn't up to 5 minutes. Everybody's face was looking, they already knew my sister had gone, but they didn't want to tell me. So one of the nurses took me into her office, and I'm like, when was the last time you saw your sister? I'm like, what are you saying? I live with my sister. I saw her last night. I was like, what do you mean? Like, we lost her for that 6:10 a.m. I can never forget. So, and that was it. They took us to, immediately we went to police service commission. That was where they took us. The first place they took us from that national hospital. They took me to lodge a complaint. They brought in this Inspector Benjamin Peters. It was a roller coaster. The man that shot her, the DPO, that woman, made sure she brought him, like he was there. In fact, the pictures of Inspector Benjamin Peters right now on the internet, I was the one that took those, because I know that if I don't take those pictures, that was going to be the last time I was going to see that man. So I took pictures of him immediately when they were questioning him. He was like his own. I didn't even know, like the car, I have pictures of that car, you could see where the bullet penetrated, that they were flagging them down and they didn't stop. And they wanted to slash the tires, and then you shot at the car. They were flagging someone down, and that's his own,
So,
and that was it.
alright, then your sister died
My sister
in the
died.
hospital.
My sister died.
How about that document that tell us all about what happened in the hospital, the warrant, the burial and so on?
Sort of, I know nothing can be equated to human life, but I want my family to be compensated. We've been through a lot the past 2 years. I want my family to be I want to see my mom smile once again. I want my family to be compensated. That's all I want, and justice for my sister. I mean, she has so many dreams.